I'm Devorah Wallen, and I'd like to share my Tea for Two, my Torah thought for 2 minutes, more or less. Happy Passover. As we mentioned last week in Tea for Two, the regular portion is postponed in deference to the festival of Passover. Now we are in the final days of Passover, and there are many lessons to be gleaned. A general concept from Passover is literally passing over, transcending the present state, going out of what's natural. Spiritually, it refers to our ability to be able to step out of our personal comfort zone and extend ourselves to the next level. A famous epithet for Pesach, and a phrase mentioned often in our prayers, is Zecher liYetzias Mitzrayim, a remembrance of the Exodus from Egypt. We know the word Mitzrayim, Egypt, has the same letters as the word Meitzarim, boundaries or limitations. It says in the Talmud that in each generation a person should consider himself as if he went out of Egypt. The first Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Shneir Zalman, says, not just every generation, but b'chol yom vayom, in each and every day, we should recall the Exodus. What does it mean for a 21st century person who is not literally enslaved in Egypt? What is today's Egypt? If we think deeply into it, we create our own limitations by narrowing our attitudes or mindsets. We said Meitzarim means constraints and restrictions. Often these limitations are self-imposed. By, quote-unquote, practicing a habit, whether in thought, speech, or behavior, that is self-defeating, we get, so to speak, good at it. Well entrenched, this habit becomes harder and harder to undo. So we need to come up with practical means of breaking through our own boundaries and limits. Consider training your mind in positive thinking and intentional imagination. Enhancing your koach hadimion, the power of your imagination, can be an effective tool since the mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. If we imagine something stressful, our body, mind, and neural transmissions display it. However, if we practice in small incremental ways, we can change the way we speak to others as well as ourselves. We can also practice through pre-imagining an activity through what's called an imaginal rehearsal. Reb Zusha Vanapoli, when at his deathbed, exclaimed to his Hasidim that he was not concerned that in the future world he would be asked why he was not like Abraham, our patriarch, or not like Moshe, our teacher, or why he wasn't like King David or Solomon the Wise. He was concerned that they would ask why he did not live up to the potential of Zusha himself. The last days of this holiday commemorate the splitting of the Red Sea. According to the Midrash, the trigger on high to cause the split was when Nachshon ben Aminadav literally stuck out his neck, walking into the water, even though it had not yet split. He showed Hashem that he had absolute faith, and so stretched beyond the seemingly rational limits of what he saw before him, trusting that God, who was greater than any limitations, can make it happen. And it was just as the water approached Nachshon's nostrils did Hashem split the Red Sea, while going beyond that which was natural. The lesson here is we must remain self-compassionate and not create any more limits and constraints for ourselves, while at the same time going beyond that which is natural. At the same time, we must have the self-awareness to know what our unique and personalized responsibility is, working our abilities, interests, and talents incrementally, going out of our own Meitzarim, one step at a time.